QR codes have become very useful. I mean, during the pandemic, when everyone needed to avoid physical contact, QR codes made contactless payments possible. Now, we see them everywhere in marketing, event management, and even in security for authentication purposes. But something that you may not have considered is that scammers also found ways to use QR codes for their own schemes.
QR codes.
QR codes.
QR code scam.
QR codes.
Now to a new warning from the FBI about QR code scams. The agency says in the last year there have been about $150 million of reported losses involving fraudulent QR codes.
Listen to this. The FTC is warning people to check carefully before scanning any QR codes after a recent surge in QR code scams.
QR code is short for Quick Response Code. It was invented in 1994 by a Japanese company called Wave, a subsidiary of Toyota. The goal was to create a better option than the traditional 1D barcodes. Here's a comparison between 1D barcodes and QR codes. Factories in Japan made a more efficient way to store data, as barcodes could only store a limited amount of alphanumeric and couldn't encode Japanese characters. So QR codes were invented. They were first used for tracking vehicle parts during the manufacturing process. This obviously resulted in more efficient logistics. And then in the early 2000s, camera phones were developed, which then led to the idea of digital cameras reading QR codes. In 2002, Sharp JS-H09 was released, becoming the first mobile phone that could scan QR codes. This sparked global interest, and soon more phones with QR code scanning capabilities hit the market. By 2010, messaging apps like KakaoTalk and Line started using QR codes to add new contacts, a feature that's now common in many apps. Over time, QR codes have evolved just beyond tracking automotive parts. They've become essential in building digital infrastructures used across social media platforms, payment systems like Apple Pay and Google Wallet, product information, and even healthcare. For instance, QR codes help quickly share patients' records and lab results. A QR code's design might look random, but it follows a precise structure which has the following. First, see those three big squares at the corners? They're called position detection patterns. They help the QR scanner find and orient the code. Then, there's the alignment pattern, a smaller square that corrects any distortions to make sure the code reads accurately. Next, we have the timing pattern. These are alternating black and white modules that help the scanner figure out the size of the data matrix. Then there's the version information. This indicates the version of the QR code, which determines its data capacity. Finally, data and error correction keys are where the actual data and error correction keys are stored. Error correction is one of the remarkable features of QR codes. It helps recover data even if 30% of the QR code is damaged. As I mentioned earlier, QR codes can be customized with additional elements. You can add logos, change colors, create unique patterns, and they can look something like these. Now, how do QR codes actually store data? QR codes store data in binary format, meaning information is stored as a combination of ones and zeros. Each black or white square is called a module. When scanned, these modules are translated into binary code, which looks like this. Then, it's converted into readable information like a URL or text. QR codes are amazing, but just like any other technology like AI, they can also be used for bad things like scams. Scammers are now using QR codes to trick people and steal their information. It's called Quishing, a type of phishing scam using QR code. A study by ReliaQuest, a cybersecurity firm, in September 2023 found that Quishing attacks jumped by over 50%. Authorities are also noticing this increase. In December 2023, the Federal Trade Commission issued a warning that scammers are hiding harmful links in QR codes to steal information. According to KeepNet, a cybersecurity management firm, Quishing scams have low detection rates, with only 36% of QR code phishing attacks being accurately identified. Scammers have lots of ways to use QR codes in their attacks, which makes Quishing scams so hard to detect and also so common. According to the FTC, one way scammers pull this off is by replacing real QR codes, like those in public parking spots or restaurant menus, with fake ones. When you scan those fake QR codes, you are redirected to a scammer's website, or it installs malware on your device to steal your information. Another method is through phishing attacks. It's a combination of phishing emails and harmful QR codes. and here's how it works. First, scammers gather information about their target to make the phishing email personalized and convincing. They find this information by searching social media platforms, using people search sites, or even going to the dark web. Next, scammers create the bait, the phishing emails. The goal is to make the email look as real as possible. They use logos, language, and formatting that closely resembles a trusted entity like a bank, social media platform, or even an online retailer. Plus, they use AI to avoid any grammatical mistakes. These phishing emails usually create a sense of urgency, like a warning about a security breach or offering a time-sensitive deal. The goal is to make the victim act quickly without thinking. And according to the FTC, some common lies scammers use include, there's a problem with your account and you need to confirm your information, or we notice suspicious activity on your account and you need to change your password. To change your password or confirm your information, victims are directed to visit a website. And in phishing scams, scammers include a QR code for the website. This QR code looks authentic too, and the colors, logos, and patterns tend to match that of the brand. And that's how sophisticated phishing scams are. If the target scans the QR code in the phishing email, the scam works. And the scammer collects sensitive information like the login details, payment, and contact information, and sometimes even the social security number. One of the biggest risks of phishing scams is account takeovers. When a scammer tricks you into scanning a fake QR code and entering your login credentials, they can use that information to access your account, like email, social media, banking, and even work-related accounts. When scammers have control of your account, they can use that to cause a lot of damage. For example, they can lock you out of your account by changing your password. They can also use your account to send spam or malicious messages to your contacts, spreading their scams even further. Also, scammers can steal sensitive information stored in your account like personal messages, documents, photos. They can then put the stolen information on the dark web where malicious actors can buy them or use it for other purposes such as ransom demands. Phishing scams can also lead to financial losses. Scammers use this information that they gather to steal your money in several ways. For example, they might gain access to your online banking account and transfer funds to their own account, or they can use the credit card information to make unauthorized purchases. In some cases, scammers use the stolen information to apply for loans or credit cards in your name. This leads to significant that you may not even be aware of until it's too late. Remember, phishing scams are all about stealing your information, and scammers can do a lot of harm with your data. And that is why it is important to be careful and to protect yourself. To start, you need to know how to spot a fake QR code. One sign of a fake QR code is if there's a sticker placed on top of the QR code itself. For example, on restaurant menus, if you see a QR code that's not printed directly on the menu, but instead is a sticker covering another QR code, then it's likely been tampered with. Another sign is unclear patterns. Compare the QR code with others from other companies. If the patterns don't match up or looks blurry, it's probably fake. Also, watch out for weird links or misspelled words. Most QR scanners let you see the link before clicking it. Check if the link has HTTPS. The S stands for secure. If the link doesn't have that or only shows HTTP, it is not safe. Besides spotting fake QR codes, there are two more ways you can protect yourself from phishing scams. As I mentioned earlier, phishing attacks can be launched through phishing emails. So to protect yourself, you need to spot and avoid phishing emails. You can do so by looking for these 4 signs. First, look out for urgent or emotionally appealing language. Phrases like respond immediately, or your account will be blocked, or response required. These are red flags. Second, it's a phishing email if it requests personal or financial information, especially if the email asks you to provide them by scanning a QR code. Third, watch out for shortened URLs or hyperlinks. Hover over them to preview the destination. If the links lead to an unknown site, don't click on it. Lastly, check for incorrect addresses or links. Examples include Amazon.com or MicrosoftRTOnline.com. Those are 4 signs that it's a phishing email. Here's an example. In the past, programmer was a sign of phishing emails, but with AI, phishing emails can now have flawless grammar. If you receive a phishing email, don't scan the QR code, don't click on subscribe link, attachment, or any links. Instead, report it and delete it immediately. As generative AI gets smarter, phishing scams will become harder to detect. So it's best to assume that all emails are potential scams. This way, your default action is to avoid engaging with any email, especially those that might trigger your emotions. If you ever scan a malicious QR code, you should immediately change your password to prevent scammers from accessing your account. For an added layer of security, turn on two-factor authentication. With two-factor authentication, even if cybercriminals have access to your login details or even your phone number, they'll still need the authentication code to be able to access your account. This could be something like fingerprint, facial recognition, or security questions. As FTC says, think of it as having two locks on your door. So whenever you can, please set up a two-factor authentication so that you can be more secure. And that's all for this video. If you found this very helpful, please share it and give it a like. Also, comment and subscribe. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.